Well, lots of sides are going to be battered by Arsenal, but that's not what we care about. It's the fact that Farke cannot be this inflexible. As this tweet here says, Farke cannot be like this season. He has to be less of a stubborn manager. Tactical flexibility is essential. Welcome back to Where Whites Walk. We've got lots of Leeds tweets to get through this week, including the right side doesn't work. Get Chris's view on that in a second. And is Farke completely to blame for what happened at Arsenal? The result doesn't matter, but the performance does, and that wasn't good enough in the first half. Plus, it's the final week of the window. What do Leeds have on their shopping list, if anything else is to come through the door? Plus, we're looking at away shirts as well. Do join us for that debate as well. First up then, Chris, Liam has said, the right side simply doesn't work. It's harsh, but Bogle linking doesn't link up well with James. Bring him off, move Noto to the right, and then we can build up and down that side. Okafor on the left will link up fine with GG. We just need to be able to gain some control. And a few people obviously liking and commenting there saying, yeah, I absolutely agree. Do you agree the right-hand side just doesn't work with that combination?
Yeah. We saw it work quite well in the Championship, but this is another level. And I know the game plan was different against Arsenal, so it was always going to be a struggle to get down that right side anyway. But it felt like Bogle, who was, for me, one of the standouts again for us, every time he tried to create something, James was nowhere to be seen or had no ability to do anything with it. And I just think if that's going to be the trend for the bigger games, then we are going to struggle massively.
Oh, I wish there was a league between the Premier League and the Championship, which Dan James would just... It'd be absolutely immense, and it's just so disappointing so far in the Premier League. I mean, he's a good player, isn't he? But do you think we're gonna? Do you think the Premier League's just a step above him?
I think there's obviously a very talented player in there, but yeah, I think he's in between the Prem and the Championship. He's clearly too good for the Championship. He's not going to cut it in the Prem. And we are sort of crying out for a replacement in that right wing side, because it can't just be Dan James and Brendan Aronson for the season.
Yeah. Would you put Noto there then? Is that what you?
Yeah, I agree with what that tweet says. Nonto to the right and Okafor on the left, because when he came on, he looked like he was working in defence and trying to get up the pitch as well, which is promising to see.
Yeah, a nice introduction to life at Leeds United for Okafor. James says it's an absolute S show. Farke got it all wrong. Team wasn't up for it at all. It's a rollover performance. Passing was woeful. Hopefully, a huge wake up call. What did we learn, if anything, about Leeds from that game? This Farke got it wrong. Farke's too stubborn. Farke's going to cost us. Do you buy that? The truth to it.
Yeah, we said last week when you asked me what I thought the team was going to be for Arsenal, and I said he would bring in Gruev for Ampadu, even though it was the totally wrong decision to do. And I said he'd stick with Strout because of his performance against Everton, even though I thought, again, that was the wrong thing to do. It's just very predictable. He has his favourites. I think he's used to Strout. He's used to Gruev. So I think he's less inclined to swap them out for new boys, even though, Bijol's a very tall player. He would have helped us out in those set pieces for Arsenal. Longstaff, again, would have given us a different option. We could have put Stach in that more defensive position. And then, the longer the game goes on, the more you're screaming for Gruev to be replaced after error after error. And he played the full 90 minutes. And that sort of stubbornness is going to cost us. And I don't think Gruev should be starting a game like that again.
Yeah. I mean, the chat in the Everton fan base after that Leeds game was that Everton showed Leeds far too much respect and, sat off. Do you think that was the same here, that you went to Arsenal and went, oh, it's Arsenal? The passing, the Leeds passing we used to watching is, spellbinding to watch at times. There was just none of it, wasn't it? The passes going astray. There wasn't any runs being made. Do you think they were nervous?
I think there was a bit of nerves potentially. Again, Gruev, it was his first ever game in the Premier League, or first ever game starting in the Premier League. And he just didn't really seem to fit in. A lot of the passes that went astray were from him. Stach wasn't as good as he was against Arsenal, whether that's because he didn't have Ampadu next to him. Yeah, it just felt very off, and I didn't really like sticking 11 men behind the ball, because every opportunity we did get to break, we couldn't, because we were all stuck in our own half, and it just kept coming back and back and back. And you'd have thought you'd have learned after 3-0 down, but it just continued and continued. So, yeah, I think we showed them too much respect, way much more respect than they deserved, because they didn't have to get out of first gear. It was quite a hard watch.
Okay. We're going to talk about Sheffield Wednesday, of course, in a second as well, and what's planned for the Cup game this week. We'll also talk about the next game coming up as well at the weekend, and also away shirts as well. What's your favourite? What's your least favourite? Before we do that, let's balance this out, though. Liam Lally says, Jesus wept. It's the second game. Get a grip, Leeds fans. There will be many more games like this season. There are certain games we need to get points from, and Arsenal away is not one of them. I think that's probably the best tweet I've seen all weekend. Do you agree, Chris?
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, a realistic view would have been, we're not going to win this game. We're not going to get anything from this game. But there's losing a game, and then there's losing a game in the manner in which we lost it, which was sloppy errors, terrible defending, terrible goalkeeping, just all around an awful performance. And that's not what you need when you go into a game next Saturday against another big team in Newcastle. Like, you want players to be confident. I'm not sure how you can. Any player in that game is going to come out of that with any confidence, especially the goalkeeper. So, yeah, I think you can panic a little bit. You need to stay realistic. We're not going to win, but we can't be losing games like that.
Okay. It's a home game against Newcastle. Would you take a point now?
Yeah, I would say a point will be the best that we'll get. Again, it's at Ellen Road, isn't it? It's an evening game, so, you know, it'll be under the lights, but it really depends what Newcastle have in their attacking force, to be honest, if they can actually do anything with it. So it'll be a struggle, but, you know, I'll be confident again.
Okay, all right, good stuff. Right then, the season, so the transfer window closes next Monday as well. So the last real week for anybody to do any shopping. First of all, do you expect any outs? Chris, we spoke about last week about all the players that have left. Are there any rumours of anyone coming in from? Do you expect Meslier to be on the move anywhere?
Well, I'd hope so. I mean, I feel for the poor lad. Like, obviously, it's been made clear to him he's not part of Farke's plans. He's behind Alex Cairns in the pecking order. And, you know, as bad as he was last season, I don't want to see his career just progress to not even making the bench. Like, I'd ideally like to see him leave the club and try and find himself again. Ramazani looks to be on the way out, which is a real shame, because I think he's a very talented player, and Farke obviously just doesn't rate him. So there's rumours that he's going to go out on loan with an option to buy. And yeah, we still need a few incomings, but I only expect those two to be the next outgoings. I think Bamford's come to the conclusion that he's very content just picking up the wage for the next year.
Oh, I bet he is.
Well, I'm not sure anyone's going to be able to afford to sign him, to be honest.
That's just it, yeah. The crazy wages that he's on, yeah, absolutely. He's good for a sing-song at the end of the season, isn't he? There we go. Right. Position-wise, then, what's our priority then that we need to sort out between now and Monday? Where do we need to strengthen?
Well, we've agreed a fee in the last few hours with Leicester for James Justin, 10 million, which seems very, very over the top, considering he's got 1 year left and he's very injury prone. But I think the higher ups have looked at that performance yesterday and said, you know, we're subbing Sam Barrymon here. We can't be subbing Sam Barrymon in the Prem, as much as I love him. So we need to get that player. And then there's rumours of Bakwa. I can't recall where he's from at the moment, but a right wing option, which would be great. But we're up against Forest for that. So again, I think that'd be another one we don't get.
We'll review it all, of course, next week as well, and also talk about that Newcastle game. Before the Newcastle game comes a very interesting fixture midweek. I was back at Hillsborough against Sheffield Wednesday. As a Leeds fans, you'll be more than aware of what bad ownership can do to a club. I know you're Yorkshire rivals, Chris, but can you have any sympathy with what's gone on at Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, it's not great for any club, is it, to go through it? You've seen it recently with Morecambe. And yeah, it's not great, but Leeds fans will sell it out. Leeds fans will make sure they've bought every pint in the away stands. That's what they'll do. That's what we'll always do. And I think it'll be a really easy game. I think we'll be the Arsenal in that regard. We won't.
It will be. Yeah. There's rumours that it might be the first time ever that there's more away fans than home fans, because there is a planned boycott of that game, isn't there, by the Wednesday fans. We'll see what comes to pass on that. But you can't blame them, can you? If your owner isn't paying the wages, and as a result of that, you've lost over 3/4 of your squad, and the catering team aren't getting paid. You can understand the frustrations.
Yeah, it's the staff I feel for. The staff are just trying to do their job at the end of the day. They should be paid, and I think it's a disgrace really that the EFL have allowed it to go on for so long.
Yeah,
we've obviously been there ourselves.
You have.
A horrible situation. Seems like Wednesdays is a little bit worse than ours, and I'm surprised there's been no docked points or anything yet.
Yeah, well, maybe that would to come if you can't pay them again. But yeah, Leeds fans certainly know what it's like to be under an ownership which doesn't invest in the club and isn't straightforward and honest. Right, so we'll review that game, of course, next week as well. Quick word about away shirts. We did the home shirt last week, which you did a sterling job in reviewing. A little bit more difficult this week because you, of course, have got a split fan base, I think, on this. Last week we spoke about the laziness of the home shirt. Is a same sort of vibe with the away shirt here?
No.
Design.
This is beautiful. This is my favourite away shirt of very recent memory. For me, it tops last season's yellow away kit. It is beautiful in my opinion. It's a throwback to the classic that we've had previously. And yeah, no notes for me perfectly. I love it.
I like the yellow one last year, though, I've got to admit. I've seen some fans just saying the badge is maybe a bit small and maybe the bits under the arms aren't needed. But yeah, I mean, you can't really moan too much about it. We'll look at the third kit next year as well. What's the worst ever Leeds away kit that you can remember?
Oh. There have been a few. You put me on the spot here.
Let us know in the comments what's the worst ever league, and we'll shout some of these.
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, okay, we'll come back to it. Jacob will be back next week as well. I'll get his view on it too as well. Thank you very much, Chris. If you are a Leeds fan and have ever fancied yourself as being a match reviewer or podcaster, all you've got to do is drop us a comment below, and we'll get back to you, and you can join Chris in reviewing some games. Look, there's hours and hours of Leeds content you can watch throughout the week. We're very grateful if you're popping just 20 minutes of this into your schedule. We uniquely look at the social media takes from the game as well. Thank you very much, Chris, again for another solo week. Enjoy the game against Newcastle. You got your ticket for that one, I presume?
Yes. Yep.
Brilliant. And good luck against Wednesday. I think that might be a bit of a cricket score if Leeds put out a full team. We shall see. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great week, everyone.